Hey man, how's it going? My name is Tom Levine. I'm a novelist. I'm a husband of 13 years. I'm a father of two, an 8-year-old and a 2-year-old. And presumably you got to this video by searching for 20X or Sealfit or Mark Divine or some combination of all of those. If the 20X, 20XL, or Kokoro events are something you have been thinking about doing but maybe haven't done yet, then you're in the right place, and I'm hoping that I can share some things with you that will be helpful on your journey. Before we go any further though, let me make abundantly clear I am not affiliated with 20X, Sealfit, Mark Divine, any associated logos, brand names, companies, anything like that. I'm doing this because when something changes your life, you want to share it with the world, and this event changed my life, and I want to share it with you. That's it. That's it. That's all we got. If I do have any affiliate links down in the description, they're just going to be between myself and Amazon.com. Again, no affiliation whatsoever with 20X or any of Mark Divine's companies. I am speaking only for myself. I am not speaking on behalf of those companies. I am not affiliated with those companies. I can't make it any more clear than that. Hopefully hopefully that's clear. Hopefully that's clear. So enough of that. Let's do this. So again, presumably you were searching YouTube for 20X, 20XL, Kokoro, Mark Divine, SEAL training, something like that, Sealfit perhaps, something like that. And I'm also going to assume that I'm not the first video that you have found. Chances are good you have found, for example, some of the Sealfit videos that they produce, or perhaps the long lineman documentary, which is like an hour and 20 minutes or something like that. If you haven't seen it, I will link to it. You really need to see that whole video. I watched it uh, dozens of times, literally dozens of times as I prepared for 20X. So, little background. This is going to be several videos because I don't want to make one long video. I'm going to make several short ones so you can kind of come back to them if you need to and see if it helps. So, my background, very quickly, I was not an athlete in high school. I was not very athletic, really, for the bulk of my life. I was very active as a kid, but not athletic. Those are two very different things. About 10 years ago or so, I completed my first marathon. I mostly walked it. It took about 6.5 hours. I did not run that marathon, even slightly. A few years ago, I did a Spartan sprint with some friends of mine. That was cool. We weren't going for time. We were just going to have fun and complete the race, which we did, and it was a great time. And that's about it. Then I don't even remember exactly where I first encountered 8 Weeks to Seal Fit, the book, or 20X, or Sealfit, the company or the website. I have no memory whatsoever of where I found those guys. But at some point I did. At some point I found the videos that they produce. At some point I found Jocko Willink. I assume you found Jocko. If you haven't found Jocko, oh, we need to talk, brother. You've got to find Jocko. You've got to find Goggins. You got to find all these guys and study up on these videos because they will get you through this. In any case, I found all these guys, all these retired SEALs, and I'd always been fascinated by special forces. I grew up with, I'm a Gen Xer, so I grew up with Rambo and the movie Navy SEALs, which is just god awful, and all that kind of shit. Loved it, absolutely loved it. Didn't want to be in the military though, knew I wasn't cut out for that, so I never bothered doing any of that. So I am not a first responder, I am not a veteran, I am not a cop, I'm not law enforcement. Like I said, I'm a novelist, and I currently work in a library. Okay, so that's about the extent, that's how exciting, that's the exciting life that I lead prior to this event. So I'm watching these videos, and perhaps like you, I was like, you know what? I need to get in shape, and I need to take care of myself. I'm going to be turning 45 this year. I need to, get my shit together. So I started like walking around the park, like do a little speed walker guy. Like, yeah, now I'm getting in shape. I'm like fucking Jocko over here. Check me out. Yeah, no, not really. And I did that for about a year. Just dicking around, lifting a few weights. I think my bench is like 90 pounds or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think my back squat or rear, whatever, my squat is like maybe 100 pounds or something if on a good day. Had some back issues, so I'm very cautious about that. But anyway, obviously not exactly Navy SEAL buds candidate material. And at some point, doing my little laps around this local park near my home, in the Phoenix metro area, I was walking around, and I was listening, I think, to either Jocko's podcast or something from Sealfit. I don't remember exactly. And I just stopped dead in my tracks and was like, "What the fuck are you doing? Like you're like walking laps around a park and expecting that to toughen you up, to give you mental toughness, to give you an edge, all this kind of stuff." I was like, dude, either shit or get off the fucking pot. What are you doing? This is stupid. So I sort of briskly walked home and got online, and I had already studied 20x by this point and signed up and hit enter and credit card information, all that, and the next thing I know, I'm signed up for August of 2019. And as soon as I signed up, I was like, what the fuck have you just done? Are you crazy? And that was about a year and a half before the event. So now I'm looking at, 12 months to 18 months, something like that, to get ready for this thing. Holy shit, now I'm scared. If for some reason you're not familiar with the 20X event, it is a 12 to 14 hour event frequently held in Southern California. Ours was in Temecula at an RV park. Sometimes they will take it to other gyms or other places of business, things like that. But generally speaking, as far as I understand it, it's held in Southern California. There are 3 primary events held by Sealfit as of this recording. 20X, which is the 12 to 14 hour, 20XL, which is a 24-hour version, and then Kokoro, which is a 50-hour version, kind of an abbreviated civilian version of the Navy SEAL Hell Week, which I do not think I will ever do, but never say never. So I signed up for it and realized very quickly, oh shit, I am nowhere near the standards. Some of the standards that they advise you be able to do for 20X, for the 12 to 14 hour event, are physical standards test, and that's going to be 40 push-ups in 2 minutes, 40 sit-ups in 2 minutes, 40 air squats in 2 minutes, no less than 8 dead hang pull-ups with no time limit, and then a 1 mile, I think it's a 1 mile run in 9.5 minutes in boots and BDUs. Kind of the long cargo pants that they wear. Those are the minimums. You should expect to exceed those, but those are the minimums. They also expect you to be able to perform a Murph. If you don't know what a Murph is, by this point, again, I'm not sure how you found this video, but a Murph basically is going to be a mile run, 100 pull-ups, 200 push-ups, 300 squats, and another mile run. Traditionally, it is done with a 20-pound weight vest in 45 minutes or less. For 20X, you are expected to do it without a weight vest, also known as slick, and you can partition those things into sets of 5, 10, and 15 with a mile on either side, and you're supposed to do it in 75 minutes or less. So they really, loosen the standard there, but you are expected to be able to do that. If that's easy for you as of the watching of this video, you're probably in relatively good shape and will probably do just fine at 20X. If you're nowhere near that, like me, then we've got a lot of work to do. Okay, so that's how things got started. I just decided I needed this challenge in my life because a lot of shit has been going wrong professionally the last several years. There's a lot of shit from childhood and from previous relationships and things like that that were just hanging over me and were just dead weight in my life. And I started thinking, the way these guys talk about mental toughness and these crucible events makes me think maybe if I pull off something like this, then who knows? Maybe there's a lot of things I could pull off. Maybe I'm not everything I'm afraid I am. Maybe I'm something more than that. And that's how I ended up signing up for 20X. So that's a little bit about me. In the following video, we're going to talk about preparation for 20X, and then we'll also be talking about the event itself and what you can hopefully expect afterwards. Now, I'll tell you right now, this is not going to be a minute-by-minute breakdown of what my 20X event was. Number 1, because they change it every time. Number 2, a little surprise is good for you. And number 3, it's just really not going to be as beneficial as you might think. So it's been covered. If you have seen any of the other videos, again, the lineman video out in, I think it was South Carolina, if I'm not mistaken, we don't need to spend time, me and you, talking about it. So anyway, stick around and I will link to the next video, which is going to be talking about preparation for 20X. So hope you'll find that helpful. I'll see you there.